you guys showing up as I pop in on Twitter and go live without much fanfare. Before we begin, a little housekeeping. So hopefully lots of you got paid your interest payment in Bitcoin. Yesterday, I believe, was the day, which is super cool. Anyway, if you're looking to earn more crypto, BlockFi is the place to do it. They've changed their percentage interest on Bitcoin, and I actually think it's pretty cool. They continue to be committed to the retail Bitcoin owner, someone who's got a few Bitcoin, wants to essentially stake it and earn some interest on it. They really seem to be cutting back on the whales that are participating or institutions that are participating in their program. So, look. It's a good problem to have if you got lots of Bitcoin and they keep reducing your fee, right? You just got to keep working at it. I was talking to my buddy Ben this morning, and I spend most of my day looking at the assets that I've accumulated over my business career and making sure they're working hard for me, whether that's fiat, whether that's crypto, whether that's real estate, whether those are businesses, whether that's venture, whether that's me managing other people's money. All of it I take seriously. All of it I make sure it's optimized. And again, BlockFi allows you to or helps you optimize your crypto or your cash, converting it into a stable token where you can get up to 8.6 APY on it. Pretty easy to use, pretty quick to set up, and they continue to evolve in terms of their security. I definitely recommend whitelisting your account, using two-factor authentication, looking into a YubiKey. You can search on Reddit how to connect your YubiKey to your BlockFi account. I think it's a very, very good solution. I don't like using a cell phone to two-factor authenticate accounts. It certainly is an attack vector for SIM swapping, etc. So anyway, cool stuff. And that's it. BlockFi. Check it out. Links below. Also, I think my trucker hats are starting to be delivered. I should have worn my Going Parabolic hoodie. I got it in white. It's pretty dope. Thank you for all of you who sent pictures of your Going Parabolic gear. We're going to continue to work on some cool fit. And let's get into it. It looks like there was a breaking article, had it on the list of things to discuss today. But as you all recall, the Russian dissident Navalny was potentially poisoned. He's an political opponent to Putin. He was apparently poisoned. He was in a hospital in Siberia. He wanted to be transferred to Germany. The last minute, the doctor said he was too unstable to be transported, as we reported last week or so. As a medical professional, that's not uncommon that a patient's too unstable to transport. You certainly continue to scratch your head on this one. Well, it looks like Navalny was eventually flown to Germany for medical treatment after he fell into critical conditions in Russia. And here's the story. This is breaking news, so you'll see it. You'll see it today. This is out of the Wall Street Journal. Russian opposition politician Alexei Navalny was poisoned with chemical nerve agent Novichok. So again, I'm not familiar with that. I need to do some research on what Novichok, and I may be mispronouncing it, Novichok. The German government confirmed Wednesday, presenting the strongest evidence yet that the attack could have been carried out by Russian state agents. Mr. Navalny was flown to Germany for medical treatment on August 22nd after falling critically ill in Russia. Mr. Navalny underwent extensive examinations at Berlin's Charité Hospital, and samples were tested in a special laboratory run by the German military. This is a devastating occurrence that Alexei Navalny was the victim in Russia of an attack with chemical nerve agent. Chancellor Angela Merkel, spokesman, said in a statement. This is pretty big. In 2018, Russia was blamed for using that same nerve agent to poison a former spy in the UK where he lived. I think the guy was eating Chinese food, or he may have been, having tea as well. But this is big time. So just in terms of this story, August 24th, the German medical tests show that Navalny was poisoned. August 23rd, Alexei Navalny's illness, latest blow to Russia's struggling opposition party. August 20th, Alexei Navalny arrival to Putin in critical condition after suspected poisoning. Check out the article. I'm super interested in this stuff. As you kind of follow the geopolitical landscape, as you follow other leaders, and it's just really scary. You think about all the stuff we're dealing with here in the United States, how bananas the political parties are. We haven't gotten to the point of poisoning people, but we're not far from inciting violence and riots and all these activist groups. It's just hard to feel, and it's hard to understand, like, are these people really upset, or is this some kind of game that's being played to sway public opinion and get political power? I'm not a politician. I have skin in the game because I live here in America and I'm a business person. I pay taxes and I care for people. You put that all in the soup here, and certainly it's something I want to discuss and something I want to think about, but it's beyond me. I wish I had the capacity and understanding and the information to guide my own decision making, that of my family's. But I'm just like you. I'm someone sitting here, saying, like, what's up? What's real? Like, how do you even vote? Like, what's going on in our cities? Like, what's going on? Why am I still sitting in my basement since March 18th? It's all too much. But anyway, we kind of jumped around a little bit because I thought that was a really interesting event and some breaking news. So let's get to the live chat and see how you all are doing. So Hugh, what's going on this morning, buddy? Always good to see you. I appreciated the pictures of the trucker hat. I wish I had one. Dave L. Sid Vicious, life in the fast lane. You got it, buddy. Life in the fast lane. Crypto Chick, yay, she's here live. Awesome. Welcome. Francisco Espinosa, what's going on? Sean Ferrari, still can't do out of NYC, correct. Still can't do out of NYC. I think you're talking about BlockFi, and I think that's correct. Sean Gatiri, what's going on? Good morning. Randall DN, you buying this dip? I bought a load of Ethereum, and I use Ethereum to do NFTs and different stuff, but I may flip that Ethereum. Let's hold on a second. Let's see something. No. Yeah, I'm probably going to do something here. I almost did something I never do. Again, I'm just sharing this with you guys. When we hit 12,000 yesterday, I almost sold 50 Bitcoin and went to GUSD with it. I just felt like people were going to trade this dip, and I never do that because I always, it's just something I'm not that interested in. For some reason, I felt like yesterday I wanted to sell 50 Bitcoin and then buy back in. I was doing the math on it. I think BlockFi was going to charge me, because I don't do these trades. BlockFi was going to charge me about $100 per Bitcoin on that trade. So they were offering a trade price when Bitcoin was at 12,000 of $11,945. And, I was thinking, like, hey, can I pick up a few Bitcoin if I buy back in at 11,300? I started to do tax work on it, all that stuff. And I got busy and started looking at something else. So Randall DN, I think that trade's still on. Seems interesting to me. I'm definitely not moving Bitcoin to buy sushi or cream or cake coin or Machine Gun Kelly coin or Davey Day Trader coin. That's not my game. I do own some Yearn. We'll go over that later. But boy, that was a bit of a mental dump there. Matt Stewart, what's up, Matt? Love Canada. Declan Byrne, Jason, I just got my first haircut of lockdown. How long will you go? I don't know, man. Like, I'm enjoying the mullet, not so much at meetings because I think I look pretty darn crazy. But man, when I'm at the beach or surfing and stuff, I actually I kind of like it. So I don't know. Nobody's saying anything. I think if I had the mullet and the long beard, I think that's a pretty much you've given up on being professional or or being taken seriously in business. But at this point, I think I'm going to keep going a little bit. I hadn't had a haircut since March. Hey, I'm just glad I can still grow hair. How about that? Ironman, Brooklyn in the house. Mark, good morning. Curious, do you purchase Bitcoin directly or do you purchase DAI or GUSD and then use that to buy Bitcoin? I hold a big wad of GUSD in BlockFi, get 8.6% interest on it. Then I buy Bitcoin that way. Gemini gives me credit. So if I don't have a Gemini account funded, it's actually pretty cool. They'll allow me to transfer up to like $100,000 a day or something like that into Gemini, and the wire transfers take days or something like that, but they'll immediately credit my account so I can buy a dip and take advantage of opportunities. But I can't move the funds, right? They're secured in the Gemini account until the transfer happens. So that's a pretty cool thing that they have there. Plus, Gemini allows for like limit orders, and you can do a bit more sophisticated trading. BlockFi doesn't have that, so they've got a little DCA option, but otherwise, you can't do limit orders. It's kind of like buying the market, selling the market. All right, let's get back into this because we've got a lot of ground to cover in terms of news. So I thought this was super interesting. The U.S. debt is set to exceed the size of the economy for the year, a first since World War II. So these are just sound bites. This obviously not good news. The U.S. government debt is on track to exceed the size of the economy for fiscal 2020, a milestone brought into reach by the coronavirus pandemic, economic impact, and the federal fiscal response. Let's see what we got. Bang, bang. The Congressional Budget Office is expected to report on Wednesday, that's tomorrow. The federal debt held by the public is projected to reach or exceed 100% of U.S. gross domestic product, the broadcast measure of U.S. economic output. That would put the U.S. in the company of a handful of nations with debt loads that exceed their economies, including Japan, Italy, and Greece. I don't think that's great company to be participating in. Japan, Italy, and Greece, great countries, but have had horrible, absolutely devastating economic situations occur in the last 5 years or so. And it's scary to me to hear that we are now amongst the ranks of Japan, Italy, and Greece. And now, what does that mean for the stock market? It means absolutely nothing, because the stock market just knows one way. It only goes up, right? Money printer go burr, stock market only goes up. It's crazy. All right. By another measure, the U.S. passed the mark in the April to June quarter when government spending surged to combat the new coronavirus and tax revenue plunged. But this would be the first time in more than 70 years for it to do so for the federal government's full fiscal year. The last time the U.S. debt level exceeded economic output was in 1946, when it stood at 106% after years of financing military operations to help end the Second World War. That is a shocking statement. It almost puts legitimacy to President Trump's claims that we're at war with a silent enemy. But that silent enemy, or we're at economic war, that silent enemy is not the coronavirus, it's China. I actually believe we're in an economic war right now with China, and that is why we're in this situation that we haven't seen since 1946 in regards to our spending to support all of these unbelievably unprecedented situations. So pretty interesting. Sean Guterri, man bun that thing, Zlatan style. I have been known to rock a little man bun around. I'm there. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. The Tofrat. How big percent of your Bitcoins do you hold in BlockFi? Greater than 50%. Told you all that before. It's no secret. Greater than 50% of my Bitcoin is in BlockFi. And then I have the rest in cold storage I actually use a third-party custodian, Coinbase. Yep, I don't have a bunch of these laying around. You guys may have them. I've got them everywhere. I don't feel comfortable with hiding my Bitcoin in my shoe. It's just too. If you've got a lot of assets, you need your trust, you need your accountants, you need your attorneys. You gotta protect it. I mean, I'm out here, doing things, living my life, and accidents happen, and you got to protect it. If you've got real assets there, I would hate to, something to happen and I lose all my real estate portfolio because I forgot a password or I had a paper snippet in a safety deposit box someplace that got burned down. I mean, think about how stupid that sounds. Wake up your brain. Come on. Ernan Ortiz, what up, Jay? What up, man? Good to hear from you. All right, TikTok. I keep talking about TikTok because I'm really interested in Walmart buying them, but it looks like there's another snag, and it has to do with their algorithm. So here we go. Deal talks for TikTok's U.S. operations have hit a snag over question of whether the app's core algorithms can be included as part of the deal, according to people familiar with the matter. The algorithms, which determine the videos served to users and are seen as TikTok's secret sauce, were considered part of the deal negotiations up until Friday, when the Chinese government issued new restrictions on the export of artificial intelligence technology, according to people familiar with the matter. Looks like the algorithm literally just serves you up videos that you watch, right? So if you watch a bunch of twerking videos or a bunch of WAP videos, you're going to see a bunch more WAP videos. That's your thing. Is that proprietary? Is that hard to build? Come on, Walmart. Let's go. Let's step up the game. Amazon Prime kicking your butt. All right. Now both sides are trying to figure out whether the order means the algorithms need Chinese government approval for transfer. And if so, whether Beijing would sign off. The complexity involved has reduced the chances that a deal could be completed soon. Walmart trade is on to me. I think they had a big announcement coming September 15th. It's only the second. The TikTok deal is out there. That could really supercharge things. I mean, look at what's happened in the stock market. I mean, I don't know if any of you followed Zoom, but Zoom was up like 60%, created like tens of billions of dollars of value in one day. What an amazing company. It's like more valuable than, it's got to be like the third or fourth most valuable tech company out there. Zoom, incredible. People who made that trade are just absolutely crushing it. I don't own Zoom, don't own any stocks really. It's probably stupid. Hey, Crypto Raven, I appreciate you saying that. Hit the like. Please subscribe. Hit the link below. Check out BlockFi if you don't or haven't. Just check it out. It's really, really cool. Jan Morgan, Algo War. Jan, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you always stopping by. Pretty awesome. Just got to check her out on Twitter. Jan's the real deal. This next one was about Macy's. I'm really fascinated by big box real estate and realtors that, not realtors, but big box real estate position in malls that are flaming out. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for people who are bigger in the real estate game, that commercial real estate game, to go out and buy malls, like see malls turning into mixed commercial residential living spaces where we bring a lot of the things that you find in malls. You got restaurants, you got the movie theater, you got products and services. You can even put some healthcare in there, and you become this really cool mixed commercial residential living space. I think cryptocurrency mining could jump into some of these stranded power resources. You got Amazon and big distribution going into those spaces, which I think is really cool. But I would love to get into some second tier or third tier real estate in malls. Another thing I'm going to share with you is I'm fascinated with buying parking decks in primary, secondary, and tertiary environments. And let me tell you why. After I have a little sip of coffee, I'm going to drop some absolute fire on you right now. This probably deserves a little bit of music. Oh, man. I got a marketing WebEx in 10 minutes. All right, I'm about to drop this fire on you right now. All right, here we go. All right. So I'm fascinated with buying downtown parking decks for this reason. This is a long game. I think it's you can cash flow these. So if you can put together a real estate deal where you buy a parking deck in a downtown or some land, like a parking garage or just flat parking pad, it's a good investment. You can cash flow it. Most of the cities don't want to deal with it on their books because they think it's like it's a asset that they don't want to manage. So they may sell it to you on the cheap. Think about this. In the future, you got driverless cars. People aren't driving downtown. They're not driving into the cities. So cars aren't going to park in the city. They may drop you off, but then they'll leave. They'll park at like baseball stadiums, or they'll park at the airport. And the airports will rent out those parking spaces to allow for a staging area for fleet vehicles to move around into cities and then leave. Right? We're using roads now and city streets to eat on because of COVID. That may not go away. So imagine if you have a parking deck in a city, it's prime real estate. You can turn that into maybe residential space or mixed commercial residential, but you're not going to need it for parking because cars aren't going to park in cities. So imagine if you started buying this stuff up now and hold it, cash flow it, and let technologies and let kind of this experience that we're living right now, where people aren't necessarily living in cities, but they're working in cities or moving out of living in the city. All these things are really interesting to me right now. So if you're in the real estate game, you may want to buy some parking decks or some parking lots, and think about driverless cars, staging areas, and potentially what you could do with that prime real estate, all of the place in our cities, what you could do with that. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. All right, 10:52. We got to go, man. We got to go. How's the virus economy? It's getting better. It's not awful. It's getting better. We're going to skip that one. We're going to skip that too. I wanted to talk about the S&P. How is the market doing right now? Market's up. Dow Jones is at 0.81%. S&P's up 0.70%. NASDAQ's up 0.27%. I don't even know how this is happening. Crude oil is down 1.17 at 42.26. Crude really came back. Gold's at 19.47, boring as ever. Silver's at 27.5, down 3%. But man, silver at $27, that's pretty cool. And Dr. Copper's down 0.46%. I still think there's tons and tons of opportunity there. I own a little bit of gold. I own a little bit of silver. I own a lot of Bitcoin. What else do we have here? Already talked about Navalny. He was poisoned. Minnesota, battleground state. I'm not interested. No disrespect to Minnesota. Disney. I can't even believe people go to Disney. If you go to Disneyland in a mask and ride those rides, you are an absolute lunatic. I don't even understand what world you're in right now. I thought this was really cool. DraftKings may be something that you look into and trade. It looks like they countered Dave Portnoy's move to bring Deion Sanders into Barstools they brought Michael Jordan onto their advisory board. That's big news to me. That's big news. Michael Jordan, I think he's bigger than Deion Sanders. And I love Deion Sanders, but bringing Michael Jordan into DraftKings, that was a good move. That was a good move. I already talked to you about Tesla yesterday. U.S. Postal Service is still wrecked. Mnuchin. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about this. So Mnuchin is trying to pass more stimulus, and I think stimulus is important simply from, helping those that need help. And it's just a continuation of quantitative easing forever. And what I believe to be the implementation of MMT without ever saying they're doing it. If you don't know about MMT, read about it. Travis Kling has done some really, really cool lectures on it, and probably it's worth checking out. Travis Kling at Ikigai. He's a smart guy. And I do have money personally invested in Ikigai, and I think we have a position. I was actually the first investor in Ikigai. And we have a position in Ikigai. That's his fund. And and from Morgan Creek Digital. So check that out. That's really interesting. So Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin urged Congress to appropriate more money to combat the effects of coronavirus pandemic, saying at a hearing Tuesday that he was ready to sit down with Democratic leaders and resume negotiations at any time. For more than a month since key provisions of the landmark CARE Act expired, Democrats and Republicans have been at loggerheads over the size and content of another relief package. House Democrats in May proposed an additional $3.5 trillion of relief, while Senate Republicans rolled out $1 trillion bill in July. Without a new agreement, jobless workers have gone without a $600 federal supplement to weekly unemployment insurance since July 31st. And a federal eviction moratorium expired on July 25th, leaving millions of tenants at risk of losing their homes. I think that's been extended this morning. I thought I heard it in the background. So you can't evict people who are not paying their rent. I think states are supporting the $300 delta that was lost in regards to the $600. And it looks like the Fed's trying to get another $3.5 trillion in stimulus passed. Really incredible. Let's go through the live chat. I've got 4 minutes. Let's go for it. Zevro, what do you think the price of Bitcoin will do this month? I don't know, but I told you very specifically yesterday that 61 days from yesterday that Bitcoin will hit a new all-time high. I don't have a crystal ball. And as they say, those who try to predict the future using a crystal ball end up eating round glass. My whole position is that I've been following the S2FX model or stock to flow model that Plan B did. I really like it. I've got a bunch of other indicators that I follow, and it's led me to a conclusion that 150 days post the halving, around 150 days, 200 days post the halving, you start to get some price appreciation of Bitcoin. It's just what it's done historically. So I'm just following it. And that's why I can speak so specifically to it. It may all be bogus. I have a low time preference. I'm here holding Bitcoin. I'd like to hold it through 2 halving cycles, 2024, 2028, before I do anything with it. Imagine what the price of Bitcoin would be if we held it through 2 halving cycles. Chris Penner have to close over 11.8 thousand for the month of September to start on 5th red dot from Plan B, correct? I think that's right. BRBR, China will never allow the algorithm. I think that's what you're talking about. This isn't about money, but about national pride. Okay, maybe. Jan Morgan, well, thanks, Jason. Just watching this unfold. Me too. Inspired, you killing it, bro. Thanks. I appreciate that. Crypto Chick, brilliant idea. What cities are you thinking? Most people exiting cities people drive in and need to park. I actually like this thesis in secondary and tertiary markets. So going to Manhattan and buying a parking deck, it's probably unimaginable for most people. But going to your local downtown and buying the parking deck, you could probably walk in and talk to city officials, and they'd be happy to have the discussion. Gosh, the hospital system I'm working with right now fired all of its parking attendants because they're all employees of the city, and the city let them go because of budget issues. They lost their parking attendants. I'm sure a hospital system may even sell you their parking deck. I mean, think about what I'm saying. It's a definite cash flow thing. Daniel M, still holding Rune. No, I sold Rune at $1.12. Chris Penner, Portnoy said he would short DraftKings this morning. Basically, he said would kick MJ's butt in business. Look, I think he has to respond to that. The bringing on of Michael Jordan to DraftKings was in direct response to them hiring Deion Sanders. Bravo. I wouldn't bet against Dave. As you saw, Dave was going parabolic on his show yesterday. I wonder where he got that from, and followed me on the same day. Coincidence? I don't think so. I think Dave Portnoy understands where the game's at. Michael Jordan, Deion Sanders, Jason Williams. But I'm the crypto Jason Williams. I'm not that basketball killer. The dude killing people. Or white chocolate. Maybe that guy. I'd like to be compared to that. I got that handle. I got that around the back move. You don't want to ball against me. Have you seen my dunking videos? It's savagery. Savagery. All right. I got to go. 11 o'clock. Love you guys. Wrap it up. Buy Bitcoin. Buy the dip. Hit like. Go check out BlockFi. I'm out.